is no light. Okay, call this Village of Greenhills Council meeting to order for, what day is this? March 20, or February 24th, 2026. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Warner.
Here.
Ms. Hudson.
Here.
Ms. Father.
Here.
Mr. Hermes.
Here.
Ms. Walker.
Here.
Mr. Coulter.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Here. Okay, we have a prayer by Jeff Halter.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to serve our community. We thank you that you're a God of love and that you see every situation perfectly. So we ask for wisdom to do our jobs well. We also pray that we not only would receive that wisdom, but apply it. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, and we have a legion to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's an honor and a privilege for the Legion to be able to donate $4,000 to put in the American flag on the Veterans Path.
Wow.
I would like at this time, or something that just popped up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't want to wake anybody else. But it was coming to my attention, your very generous donation having to do for our flood cameras, which was first our intent for the safety of the village. It has proven that it's an enormous amount of expense for a small village. Other things that could be used, maybe license plate readers, maybe some special tasers that are new in the thing. Perhaps our chief can instruct us. But I would like in the open up to ask you the permission of the Legion if we can use the money that was earmarked especially for the flood cameras, if we can use it in something else for the safety of our senior citizens and other citizens of the village.
That's no problem. Use it where you need it.
And
I
then,
appreciate it.
and then you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to mention the flock camera is an excellent tool for law enforcement. They've served us even though we don't have any right here in the village. They're all around us and they serve us well. In order to have them in the village, we would need 5 of them because they recommend each entrance into your jurisdiction. So we need 5 to cover the village. Initial startup would be about $23,000 or $4,000 per camera, so that's $20,000 plus about $500 to install each one, so about $2,250, $20,250. But that's not the end of it. Then they get you for $4,000 a camera per year, so it's a 5-year contract at $20,000 each year.
I'll
So
see what we can do. We might be able to.
shake the tree. So just not sustainable, but there's plenty of other things, you know,
That he
that
can use right now.
Absolutely.
Instead of just sitting
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah, and if I,
wanted your
sorry.
permission for
Yeah.
that.
No problem.
If I could clarify one thing, this was, the reason that was brought to your attention wasn't, we're not asking for that.
Right.
It's just,
No, I
just the
understand.
justification of,
We're good neighbors, you know, we support you and all your endeavors, and we just like to keep it up.
no, we appreciate it.
We
Thanks
have
so
to
much.
donate so much to charity, and there's nothing wrong with you guys. Yeah.
And would you please also mention what you mentioned to me about the POW and the MIA flag, where they need to be positioned, so
Yes.
it would be on record, would you say that?
Below the American flag, we would like to put the POW MIA flag as well. And that's the only other flag that flies over the White House besides the American flag.
sounds good. Thank you again.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thanks again. Okay, we have the approval of the minutes of the previous meetings of the work session meeting on February the 10th and the council meeting of January 27th. If there are no changes or corrections, minutes stand approved. All right, We've got a public presentation, and we have Diane Herbie from Waycross Community Media to brief us on all the exciting things they're doing.
Thank you very much. I was fortunate enough to be here last year to talk about the changeover in the leadership on the board after Joe Orndorff, who is the only other chair of the board ever, finally decided to retire, and the board selected me. And I thought when this year kind of rolled around that it would be good to come back and give you sort of a review of all of the programming that Waycross has done to cover events in Greenhills over the previous year. I know you have a wonderful liaison back here in Rachel, and that you get that information throughout the year. But when you hear it cumulatively, you don't realize what the impact is. So last year, in 2025, Waycross produced about 30 programs covering events in Greenhills. 13 of those, of course, were coverage of your board meetings. Those are all done live. 5 of them were coverage of community events like the Veterans and Memorial Day ceremonies and events like Lighting Up Greenhills and the Harvest Fest. 11 of those were Concert on the Commons concerts, allowing people who can't make it in person to view those concerts. There are studio programs made at Waycross that let the residents know about the Building Bridges program, and also the coverage of not just village council candidates in election forums, but also the school district candidates in election forums. They also covered almost 80 programs on the schools in the past year, and those include also their board meetings, their sports programs and concerts. And in addition, Greenhills students participated in last year's summer film workshop, where the students create their own short film, and under the auspices of a local videographer and photographer, Glenn Hartung, and the small Waycross staff. And some residents themselves took advantage of Waycross's training to become their own producers so that they can create programming of their own. Now, in many ways that sounds like a lot, and in some ways it may sound like not a lot when you consider that there are 4 channels. But many of these programs were live programs that are recorded and are shown multiple times on multiple platforms. They're not just available on the cable channels, they're also available online. They're also available on social media sites like YouTube and TikTok. And as I said, this is done with a very small staff and with a cadre of volunteers. Many of those volunteers are students themselves who have learned about the industry, some of whom even have gone on to actually work in the industry. And if you are interested in serving as a volunteer, if you're interested in also taking training is available for you to take and to learn how to produce your own programs, and also how also to be a volunteer. The best way to do that is to call Waycross Community Media at 825-2429 or at info@waycross.org. And so Waycross hopes to continue serving the district and the school district over another 40 years and more. So thank you. And I hope to be back again next year, give you a recap over this year's programming.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, Fire Chief Tony Spaeth.
I'll get out of your way.
Good evening, everyone. I want to share January statistics with you tonight. We had 23 fire runs in January versus 13 last year. We had 58 EMS runs in January versus 48 last year, for a grand total of 81 runs versus 61 last year. And so when you put that all together, it was 20 more than the same month last year, or a 33% increase in our run volume. Our response times continue to reflect us having people in the station, and so Last year, our EMS response time was dispatched to on scene 6 minutes and 15 seconds. This year, our total response time was 4 minutes and 5 seconds for a 2 minutes and 10 second improvement, or 35%. And so when you break that down between staffed hours and non-staffed hours, it gets even a little bit better. During staffed hours, our EMS response time is 3 minutes and 56 seconds versus 6 minutes and 15 seconds last year, almost 2 minutes and 20 seconds better, or 37%. Percentage of all of our runs, fire and EMS combined, during staffed hours for the month, we made 98.8% of our runs. Percentage of hours covered during staffed hours, that's 8 a.m. to midnight daily for the month, was 95.5%. And then a total percent of all runs made during both staffed and non-staffed hours, so basically 24/7, was 98.77%. And so, again, that's a dramatic improvement over what it was when we were strictly volunteer. Just a few notes, and then let's see. And so for February, we got 4 days left. Currently, we're at 56 runs month to date, which is about 7 behind. We got about 4 days left, and so we're running kind of even this month, which is good. We in January, we gave mutual aid 14 times on the fire side, and we received it twice. And we gave mutual aid on EMS side and received it 9 times. So it's 14 given and 11 received on mutual aid. Activities within the last month since I was here at the last meeting, preventative maintenance has been completed on both of our ambulances. Fire Marshal Swable attended the fire code update in Columbus about 3 weeks ago. And so there's a new fire code in 2025. And so we all have to go and do some training to see what the differences are and the changes that have been made. And so that is what we follow by ordinance here in the village of Greenhills, as you all know. I attended 2 hours of incident command training this morning and continuing education at Springdale Fire Department. Recent training, last week we did some sleep deprivation training with the Tri-State Peer Support Team. They came in, and actually the police department joined us. And so a lot of studies about sleep deprivation and what it does to you, both mentally and physically. And so we're learning different ways to handle that, and how we recover from being up all night and then going to work the next day, and so on and so forth. So it's a very real issue in fire, EMS, and law enforcement. And so a lot of agencies and entities are starting to recognize that. So we had some really good training there. This week we have RAT training, and RAT stands for Rapid Assistance Training. And so if you ever see fires on television or wherever, you see a bunch of firefighters are in the front yard, they're not maybe necessarily totally engaged in the firefighting operation. Some of those are set aside for a RAT team. And so if an interior crew gets into trouble, then we deploy inside the building to help rescue the firefighter with extra equipment, SCBA bottles, equipment that we can use to pull and drag someone out. And so that's our subject of training for this week. Just want to remind everybody that it's still heating season, and so it's always a good idea to please continue to check your CO detectors. We still get a handful of those types of runs every week, which is good. If your CO alarm goes off, we want you to call 911. We can come. We have very expensive metering and multi-gas equipment that we can come in and identify where the issue is. Many, many times, not always, the CO alarms that you buy at Home Depot or Walmart, wherever you get them, they have a 5 to 10 year shelf life. And so normally when they start going off, they're chirping. We'll come in with our meter, we find no CO, but then you take it off the wall and you look at the back, there's always a manufacturer date, and inevitably it's usually a 5, 10, 12-year-old detector. And so check those. If they go off, please call us. That's what we'll do when we come. We'll do an investigation and make sure everything's fine with your gas heating appliances, your water heater, those kind of things. And then always recommend that you keep those replaced on a 5 to 10 year cycle. And then also want to remind everybody that there's no parking in front of hydrants in the village. The law is 10 feet in any direction, and so we need a 20-foot opening in front of every hydrant. And as you know, not every hydrant in town has markings or paintings or whatever, so it's incumbent upon all the motorists, the village, and everybody to know that if you park any closer than 10 feet to a hydrant, you could be ticketed. And so not where we want to be out ticketing residents and things of that nature, but when I drive around and I see cars that are very, very close to hydrants, it becomes a problem for us if we need to use that. So just be mindful of that. A lot of times people have visitors come and visit them and maybe they don't realize. So, remind the visitors that you have coming to your house and help us out with that. If you have any questions, if you have a hydrant in front of your house, if you have questions about where they should or shouldn't park, give us a call. We're glad to come out. If you have a question about a fire alarm, CO detector, smoke alarm, give us a call at a non-emergency number at the village firehouse. We'll come and we'll be more than happy to check it out. That's all I have for you tonight. Any questions or comments for me?
Just one question about when the street's snow covered, is there a guideline for the fire hydrant distance? Because I know when they can't see the lines, they might be parking closer and not being aware. What is the actual distance?
Well, yeah, so the distance doesn't change whether there's snow or not, but like when we go clear the hydrant, we try to get a 3-foot circle around the hydrant because that's how long the handle is that we use to open and close it. So, a 3-foot like circle around the hydrant is always good. And so when springtime comes, and we've had a number of issues in the village where people are planting things and flowers and trees and ornamental grasses and things, and we can't have that, near a hydrant. So we will ask them to take it down, or we'll come and take it down for them because it is in the, in the planting strip, in the easement there where the villages, would help us deal with that. Make sense?
Yeah.
It gets tough in the wintertime, we do the best we can. We get out there. Some of you guys have probably seen us out there. We're out there digging hydrants out and things like that. And a lot of the citizens have done a great job of helping us out with that.
So it's 3 foot around the fire hydrant, but also what's the parking distance?
10 feet.
10 feet.
Yeah, so the bumper of the vehicle can be no closer than 10 feet to the hydrant on either side. So you got
an
so
opening of 20 foot.
You got a 20-foot opening basically, and that gives us the room we need to get our engine in the right spot, to get the hose in and open the hydrant and those kinds of things. Because the hose doesn't go straight from the hydrant to the engine. It's going to curl and wind around, and so we need space.
Right.
Makes sense.
So,
Thank you.
like I said, any questions, we're more than happy to come out and look, take a look.
Thanks, Tony.
Anything else?
Chief. All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, no Lisa tonight, right? All right, Jennifer Weichert from the Greenhills branch of the Public Library.
Good evening, how are you all tonight? Thanks
Good.
for letting me come in and give you the spiel about what we got going on once more. This is your last chance for the Winter Checkout Challenge. So if you need your tote bag, or you need to reclaim your mug, or you need to turn in any bookmarks that you've completed as chances to win the fuzzy blanket, that drawing will be happening next week. It runs through Sunday, the 28th. We're not there on Sunday, but if you go to a branch that does have Sunday hours, you could still turn it in there if you wanted. And we do still have mugs and tote bags in case anybody is wondering if we haven't run out yet. Feel free to come and help us have that happen. Study rooms. I just wanted to mention that we do have a study room at Greenhills that will hold 2 people comfortably, a single person, of course, and they're very handy for needing a change of scene, for getting away from the kids and the dog, and so you can focus a little bit. They're great for like work meetings. They're great for actually studying for any exams or tests that might be coming up. Just a good place to chill out and get a little peace and quiet. So those are free. All of the library study rooms are free. A number of branches also do have various sizes of meeting rooms that can be booked as well, and even the study rooms vary a little bit. From ours is quite small at 2 to 4 to 6 people, but it's a resource that we do have, and that's at not all of them, but many of our 41 locations, and that's on our website. And if anybody would like to book our study room, you can go to chpl.org, or you can stop into the library and we can help you reserve them. We also offer free printing and copies and free faxing and scanning, and we do also have resume templates and can help customers with a lot of different documents that you might need to prepare or anything. So we have 8 public computers that you can come and use. You can print from your phone using our email service. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we can help with that. And you get 33 black and white or 20 color copies per person per day. And the scanning and faxing is as many as you would like.
That's nice.
And then we can also print out tax forms. So that season is upon us. So if there's anything you guys need, federal, state, Rita, we can help out with any of those. Just come in and we'll be happy to get you whatever you're looking for. Some of the branches are offering some tax assistance. There is, you have to sign up for an appointment, and that's at 513-369-6900, or you can reach out on our website, and there's also links to it. So that's mostly for low to moderate income taxpayers, those on a fixed income, people with disabilities, and those with limited English language abilities. And that's at the main library, Groesbeck, Harrison, Madisonville, North Central, Reading, Price Hill, and Walnut Hills. And then March, we are also embracing the America 250, so we just wanted to highlight a couple of our programs that will be happening in March that kind of tie in with that theme. For Ohio, it's Ohio Entertains this time, so we're going to be having a presentation from the Cincinnati Museum Center all about amusement parks in Greater Cincinnati, and that's going to be on Wednesday, March 11th at 6:30 p.m. And we are also going to have our Classic Movie Club is showing the movie HUD this time. That's available for streaming free on our Canopy service. And that stars Paul Newman, who is an Ohio native. So if you haven't seen that one, watch the movie on Canopy, then you come in and talk about it. And that's going to be on Saturday, March 21st at 11 a.m. And we also have a display that is a rotating one for each month for different themes. So we'll have all kinds of music and entertainers for March. So if you have an interest, you will come and browse some of our books or CDs and have a chance to check them out as well. We do also have a bunch of other programs that will be coming up. We, of course, have our family story times on Monday at 10:30. We have our adult story time on Mondays at 11:30. We do ask for registration so that we can manage capacity for that one. We have our youth drawing club that meets on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. And then our Spice Club meets once a month on the first Tuesday, so on March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. They're going to be discussing pepper. There'll be recipes and where it grows and a sample, and you can come. And if you can't make it at that time, we usually have kits that are available, so you're welcome to pick those up after the meeting. We're also going to be having Piece by Piece. It's a Reds Hall of Fame puzzle program on Saturday, March 14th. All ages are welcome to come in and do a community puzzle palooza and help us assemble that as we will be heading into opening day shortly. We also have our Monday Murder Book Club on Monday, March 16th at 6:30 p.m. That's our monthly murder mystery book club. So we'll be doing Trouble Island this time. For the teens, we have Dorito Day on Wednesday, March 18th at 4:30 p.m. Doritos come in a multitude of flavors, especially if you go up to Jungle Jim's and investigate the international aisle. So we'll have a number of interesting flavors, and you can come and see what you like and what you don't. Then we've also got our Music to Grow On story time, and that's on Friday, March 20th at 10:30 a.m. We also have our craft program, Coastal Collage, which is a paper landscape collage. That'll be on Saturday, March 21st at 2 p.m. That's for adults. There is a sign up, and it is quite popular. So please do double check, and we'll be happy to add you to the waiting list. And spring break, we are all about spring break as well. So we have Ozobots, which will be at 2 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 24th for the kids. They're little robots that you can program using markers with different colors, so you can make it twirl and do all kinds of fun little tricks and everything. And we're also going to have spring break bingo on Wednesday, March 25th at 2 p.m. Any questions or comments from you?
You're busy.
It's a lot of information.
We always keep busy.
I know that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, no public hearings, reports of municipal officials, municipal manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. I thought I would start off with, I have a better summary now of the snowstorm and what that cost the village, and so I know everybody really enjoyed that, right? Total labor hours were 162. Total miles driven, 729 miles. Post-storm, continuing the cleanup was another 215 miles. We used a total of about 240 gallons of diesel fuel during that time. 3 trucks. Post-storm, we used 2 trucks. 12 tons of salt and 30 gallons of calcium chloride for a total cost of $9,500. So there you have that. Oh, and then Chief gave us a total on, we did have to, they had to put out warnings on cars that weren't moving. So 57 warnings were posted on vehicles. 11 of those cars did not move and had to be cited, and then 2 had to be towed. So thank you for that info, and thank you for the help getting that cleared off, because that will help our service department, to clean the streets quicker. I mean, hopefully we won't have another storm like that ever, but in case it should happen, we are working on probably having some type of snow emergency in place to prevent that from happening again. So I also want to spend a little time talking about the electric aggregation that's on your agenda tonight, Council. And I know you'll be hearing a little bit more of it during committee reports, but I had a few extras of these that were at the back of the room if anybody's interested. It's a little bit more detail about our aggregation. The top sheet, this is something that is put out to bid. We have a consultant that does this with a number of communities, and during that bidding process, they received 3 responses, one from Dynegy, one from Constellation, and one from Direct Energy. Our consultant is recommending to us that we go with Dynegy for a 25-month term. The fixed rate at the time when they prepared this for us, which was back in January, that is just a point in time. What happens is after council actually approves it, then they will be watching for whatever the market takes it under 10 cents per kilowatt hour, and then they'll purchase it. And that they feel that is the lowest bid here for 25 months. Odd amount, but it's highly technical for somebody who's not really into all this electrical stuff. So I can't explain it to you other than it really has a lot to do with the demand and the supply. It's very volatile right now, so they don't suggest we go out any further. Again, just like our previous one that we did, the gas, was kind of the same thing. It's a shorter term to take advantage. This is actually a good protection for what they see ahead. With the other one, it was like, could we get it lower? So kind of the same situation with both of them, but this thankfully is a little bit longer term.
What was our term last time?
For this one was probably, I want to say it was just like a year.
Just short.
It was a short one,
Okay.
yeah. We've had a couple short ones. I know it would not have been longer than 2 years. With the electric and the gas so close on each other, it's hard to remember the different terms, but I believe it was a short one, yeah. Okay, and you'll note that our current program is at 8.25. So it is an increase. I want to point out the next piece, the next chart on there though, for you to see the blue line is a Duke price to compare to ours, and we do consistently, we are lower. There might be little tweaks here and there where Duke was slightly lower and a really small tweak. Otherwise, we do have very good rates. So for what that's worth, I thought that was worth a lot. When you see it like that, you realize that one of the things I think people, when you look at your bill, it's very confusing, and just remember this applies only to the supply portion, not to the distribution portion. Duke will always have a distribution fees there, and I think they're going, if you have Duke, your supply rate's gonna go up, everybody's distribution rate's gonna go up. So we can't control that. We can only work with that supply figure. So just keep thinking about that as you look at your bills. The next 2 pages I put in there, show you how much the community as a whole has saved over the duration of our program. And the 2 pages, the first being electric, the second being the gas, there's been savings of over $2 million. So I hope that gives you a good picture of it, and I know we have a few more comments coming on that at the committee report.
Did you want to cover off on the people that go door to door?
Oh, yes, thank you. We do have a lot of people. We've had, I guess, 3 really in about the past 2 months that are going around. I think 2 of them, again, the police stopped them, sent them back up here to get registered, which, by the way, we now are giving out a little card to them that if they come to your door, ask them if they have their card. Because they're required to carry it with them, but I think we've had 2 that were not official, and then 1 that recently was. So we had, was it just last week, we had somebody coming and saying they were Duke.
Okay.
No, they're not. Check the front page of the website if you're in doubt, or even before you open your door to anybody, and I personally would not let anybody look at my account cards, my account records. So I would recommend you do the same. Even the ones that are saying like IGS or Direct Energy, and they'll probably come in and they'll say, oh, we're part of the Greenhills program. Our program will never go door to door, and they will never call you. That doesn't mean you might not hear from Dynegy, but it's not our program. So be aware of that as well.
I guess I'll add on it a little bit to the residents that, because they've come to my door as well, and some of the opening lines are quite interesting because I know they're not factual. So we purposely hire a consultant, we purposely look into this, and it is a proven fact that we save the residents money. So no matter what story you hear by somebody going door to door, you have to opt out in order to get into those other programs. Is that correct? Like if somebody comes to your door and you want to go into their program, you're opting out of this program. Is that correct?
If you sign up with their program, you can just terminate our program, which is an advantage of our program. We don't have any termination fees ever, but
just help me understand one thing. So we, as a resident, they're under this umbrella currently without doing anything. Is that correct?
Correct, unless they opted out or
Right.
unless they were covered by another program.
Right. So you can, when someone comes and talks about these topics, you're under, as far as I know, the best financial umbrella you can be under. So you have to pass on this to go into their program. And you're free to do that, but based on what we're seeing, I don't know if it's the financially best decision for you to make, no matter what they're telling you. And if that's different, then we would let you know. So,
Right.
Because I think it's a little bit of an intimidation and scare tactic that, yes, I understand people have a lot of problems with government, but if you go with a default setting that we're out to get you, we are not. We're out to save you a lot of money if we can help it. So I would wear that attitude if you can.
And I'll tack on to that one too, that if you do go in another program, just be very cautious, because a lot of those programs, when you try to terminate, will have a fee. And or if you stay in it and the time period, say it was for 12 months, but you forget to opt out, you could be looking at a really high rate. You know, that's probably not guaranteed more than 12 months. So just, it's tricky. They're trying to sell stuff, so we're just trying to help you not fall prey to that.
I have 2 questions. When you say that we should be asking if someone comes to our door, if we even answer, if we don't have the no soliciting sign, that we should ask them if they have their card. A lot of these individuals will have a card that identifies them and has the name of their supposed company. So what card would they receive from?
We have one. It's about half that size.
About a half page.
About a half page. It says Village of Greenhills at the top. One of us will have signed it.
Okay, from,
Yeah, what days.
so asking them from their car, for their card, it should be something from the village. Otherwise, they're unauthorized, they need to go to the village.
Yeah.
And then for people that have opted out previously but want to opt in for these new prices, since you're going out and having them bid again, how would they go about opting in?
They don't have to, that's what I just said, that they're automatically under that umbrella unless they get out of it.
But that's what I'm saying, for people that have gotten out of it previously,
Oh, I see.
and now they want to opt in.
They can actually call the customer service number now and get in.
Okay, is that something
Yeah.
that they can get off of the website?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
What they call Duke Energy's customer service?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Dynegy.
Oh,
Dynegy.
Dynegy.
Okay.
Dynegy.
Good question, sorry.
It's okay.
Confused.
She wants
Mm.
an explanation.
Of
what aggregation? Yeah.
Oh, my goodness,
Simple.
okay. How do you define aggregation? I would say it's
Oh.
just a grouping of the
Yeah.
communities to try to get a lower rate.
We get a better rate because we are more people, we're a village going out versus us individually going out and saying, hey, what can you do for us?
Right.
So it's actually an advantage for you to
Yeah.
be able to negotiate. I actually learned that from Dana. Dana is like, she probably won't like me shouting her out, but she like used to work in this, so she knows all the ins
okay,
and outs,
great.
just FYI. And the only thing I'll add real quick is that my grandfather, recently, he still has his house in Hillsborough, and he recently was like, I don't understand, why are they sending me this disconnection notice? I paid my bill, and I'm looking, and it's because he's paid the same amount, and he's actually getting charged about 19 cents for the supplier. So and this one is 9.94 up to 10.04. And I had looked at my bill and I said, you're literally almost getting charged double what we
Yeah,
have.
wow.
So it really is a benefit if
Yeah.
people need that comparison.
And again, the Public Utility Commission has a program called Apples to Apples that you can go, you have to play around with it a little bit, but you can put in our, Greenhills, Ohio, and it will compare it to other local prices. So, yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
And we've been in this program since
Like
2010, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And residents have to vote on it, but it's something the state passed a law that allows people to go out and bid for their electric, but it's still not the delivery system. Duke still is regulated by the PUCO, and they've been granted increases in the delivery system where we see electric, gas both costing more because it costs more to deliver the system.
One additional question, sorry. What about new residents that have recently moved in? Are they automatically in the aggregate program?
No, they will have to call. We do have information in our new resident packet
Okay.
for the program. Otherwise, they would be like in the next round of opt-out letters that they
And
would
when do
get.
they get the new resident packet?
Usually within about 3 or 4 months of moving in.
Okay,
So if you know, we do have it up on our website.
okay.
Trying to think, we can think of other ways that we can get information to them quicker, but, we'll do that. And we do have a section on the website, for aggregation. If somebody, like, comes new to Greenhills and goes exploring or something, they should be able to find some information on it.
Do you get billed by Duke Energy though?
Yes,
Mhm.
they always get billed by Duke.
And if you look at your bill, it'll show what you're paying for the distribution of the company that we're with, or if you've signed up for somebody else.
Gotcha.
For the ID for the people that are ringing the doorbell and so forth, can you put something like on the website right at the top or something, so people would see and not have to go through the whole website to find it or something?
Okay, it is on the front page.
Okay, all right. So it is visible for them to find?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else?
No, that'll do it for now. Thank you.
Okay. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing to report tonight.
Okay.
That's fast.
Clerk of Council Teresa Lally. Okay. Chief of Police Jim Howarth.
Thank you, Mayor. A week ago Sunday, we finally got our building bridges in after one snow day, one frigid day or frigid week, and then the Super Bowl. So we finally did get it in a week ago Sunday. It was great. It's the highest attended one we've ever had, and 13 new faces that have never been to it, along with the regulars that usually come. So it was a great time. I do want to remind the public, that used to be high school, 10, 11, and 12th grade. We've opened it up all the way down to 6th graders. So anybody from men from 6th to 12th grade, more than welcome. So be on the lookout for the next one. Also, Grace Hills is always very nice to open their place. They treat us really well. So we appreciate their support. I'd like to go back on the 72-hour parking that people know, 72-hour movement on their vehicles. I just want the residents to know when we went around issuing the warnings first, that wasn't like 4 days after the snowstorm. That was probably maybe 2 weeks, 12 to 14 days when we actually went around. And it was apparent that, cars were still piled with snow, so they had to move since that big snowfall. So that's why we issued the warnings. And then, and that's all we want is voluntary compliance, basically, and majority did, and the ones that didn't, then we went back and cited, and then they finally moved. So, and then we got down to 2 that weren't moved. So I just wanted to make sure people knew it wasn't like 4 days, 80 hours after the snowstorm we were out there trying to tell everybody they had to move. We understand the parking situation, and it's hard to get in driveways, limited space. I'd also just like to take a minute to remind people that no Greenhills police officer, nor I would say any police officer, any jurisdiction would call you and demand money over the phone, stating you have a warrant out for your arrest and stuff like that. It's a scam. Look out for especially elderly people. They try to prey on and take advantage of that, and they get scared because they got a warrant. We have had people call, let's say they're Greenhills police officers, and you can spoof numbers, so it can look like it's coming from our phone number too. So just because you see a phone number you recognize doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from that number. So just keep an eye out on that. And all this information and some tips and stuff out of my newsletter that'll go out by the end of the week. I sent you an email reference our new patch that we were going through the process last quarter, actually since probably October, November, as far as the officers getting together, talking about designing a new patch, reaching out to public. A lot of events I went to, I asked people, when you think of Greenhills, what do you think of? Overwhelmingly, it was a community building. The white building, the community building is what they would say. Did get some that talked about the row houses, Avenel, stuff like that area. So with that, we designed the patch, tried to put in the history of it, being a landmark historical district, and you saw the rendition. So that will be kind of a slow process moving in. I don't have the finances to go take everybody's shirt in and put new patches on. What I'm doing is I'm actually providing the patches to the officer. If they want at their own cost to have this one removed and the new one put on, they can do that. If they don't want to do that right now, then as they get new shirts, the new patches will be put on. So eventually it's just going to take some time to get to where everybody, so you'll see the 2 variations out there for a little bit. Going back to January, which we're almost into March, but a couple statistics. We had 187 calls for service during the month. We assisted in 44 squad/fire runs, assisted mutual aid to our neighboring agencies 17 times, parking complaints 12. All those, keep in mind, all the citations that we wrote were actually in February, so you won't see those until March, the March report for February. 10 domestic trouble calls, assisted 9 motorists, served 9 warrants. And then our other normal activities, intrusion alarms, check on the well-being, thefts, etc. The arrest activity, officers made 15 total arrests during the month of January. 9 of them were warrants or citations issued. We had 6 offense arrests that were the result of a criminal offense. Some of the offenses: assault, criminal damaging, criminal mischief, receiving stolen property, vandalism, and we cited 1 peddler for violation for not being registered through the village. Traffic enforcement had 132 traffic stops resulting in enforcement action. 69 of them were traffic citations, 63 of them were traffic warnings. And we investigated 8 auto accidents during the month of January. Took 11 criminal offense reports. Compared to last year, 2025 in January, we took 19 during that month, so we're down 8 starting off the year. 2 violent crimes, those are aggravated assaults, and criminal damagings and theft, etc., criminal mischief. So I have, Mayor, unless anybody has any questions.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, my report, I have the court receipts for January. Ending bank balance is $44,170.65. Checks to be issued to the state of Ohio, $919, Hamilton County, $33, and the village of Greenhills, $3,336. And then at the proper time, I'd like to have a motion. We have an opening for the Planning Commission since Jack Lee is no longer on council. And so we have a position for a council member. And I'd like to appoint Greg Hermes with his building experience to be a representative on the Planning Commission. So at the appropriate time, I'd like a motion to concur with my appointment. And then I wanted to make a comment on property taxes, since everybody's now gotten their property tax bills, and I've seen some comments that people have made concerning property taxes. The state has passed some things, and we won't know until the June property taxes of what effect the state changes will have on the reduction of some individuals' property taxes. People who receive their property tax bill can look at it and see how much each dollar you're paying in taxes, who it goes to. But I know a lot of people have the bill for the property taxes escrowed through their bank account, and so they don't even see their property tax bill. So I'd suggest people every now and then go on the auditor's website and look at the evaluation of your property and the tax bill. And also on that site, they have a nice pie chart too that shows where all your money goes. So in Greenhills' case, roughly 49% goes for education, which includes the Oaks schools. The percentage of that is combined into that 49%. Approximately 32% of the taxes people pay for village purposes, such as the general fund, operating the police department and the fire department. And then the county services will get about 18% of your property taxes, and that runs from the library to the zoo to the parks, the mental health, children's services, a wide variety of agencies. And your property taxes generally will not go up on the reappraisals other than on 10 mills, and that's one of the things the state, I think, is changing. But you'll see increases in your property tax based upon levies that get passed. And so, we're all faced with that. So it's whether the county has passed several levies in the last few years. The village has passed the police levy and a fire levy. So those do cause increases in your property taxes. Also, as it relates to property taxes, there's, I guess, petitions going around to try to get it on the ballot to eliminate property taxes, which would probably be a major crisis in the state of Ohio as to how would government in general function. So if you don't have property taxes to pay for it, there would certainly need to be some other method. And, whether increasing income taxes, the state's talking about they might have to increase sales taxes to 28% or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So it would be a real tough situation. And I've not heard any from the group that's trying to get it on the ballot, any ideas on how government would function in the state of Ohio if they eliminated that. So that's my 2 cents worth.
That's a good 2 cents.
All right. Reports of committees, safety, Jeff Holder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, we actually had one of the most productive meetings, in my opinion, and there was so much brought to the table, and I want to just thank Chief Haworth and also Tony Spaeth and Yvonne, because they brought information back from the prior meeting, very thorough information on speed bumps, emergency preparedness, and just the update with how we're working with the fire department. So I want to thank them up front. Chief Haworth went around, actually photographed speed bumps and talked to surrounding communities. There's way more information than you would want to hear at this point. In general, some of the highlights, and correct me if I'm off on any of this, like the plastic speed bumps are 7,000, I believe, and around that price point. And a lot of them, we had pictures of them where some of the panels are ripped up and bolts are sticking up on the road. They don't last that long. They're either hit by snowplow or what have you. The only positive comment that I saw towards having speed bumps was coming from one community adjacent to us that said, it just stopped the phone calls of people bugging me about getting speed bumps. I don't think that's a good reason to put a speed bump in. We want to be liked and we want to do that, but right now there's a lot of facts pointing to a different, to not proceeding with the speed bumps. We've talked to the maintenance department, we've talked to a lot of other communities. The cost is, to do them right is very, very high. And a lot of these places, they have much wider roads than we have is another thing. We saw unusual parking situations because of them, and then actual facts of how much it's affecting the speed is not overwhelmingly like this is a game changer for us. So at this point, in one case, they opted, some of them have taken out their speed bumps because of the issues they've had with them, and actually replaced it with another officer, where there is putting more people on the street. And along ladder that up to lately, seen a lot of police presence around the school, different places where there's been speeding issues, and I really, at least from an outsider perspective, looks like it's having an effect. Your whole demeanor changes when you come around the bend and there's an officer sitting there with their lights on, in other locations. And it's tough with our situation because we have limited parking. It's hard to kind of hide. Yes, there might be a good little place to tuck away, but not so much with us. But I'm still okay with that if it slows the traffic down. So thank you for the thorough report. There's more details to it, but right now we do not, as a safety committee, recommend proceeding with that as an option. I think there's other things that would be better use of our funds to maintain it and be vigilant on that front. The other piece that was done by Yvonne was a very thorough, we're trying to put together a summary that we can have each resident place on a refrigerator or someplace convenient with all the key phone numbers on for being prepared if you're having an issue with water, if you're having an issue with a street light or that kind of thing. It's not that when you see and we've got a first pass at that, we're going to get feedback and pass it around to as many people as we can and see what might be lacking and what might need to be adjusted. But as far as this goes, the one reason we have things on here, wires down, gas leaks, call Duke Energy. It's not that we don't want to handle that, but that's the department. That's not our department, and you're actually going slower to go through us to have us call down there. So if you know that and you have this information, power outage, that kind of thing, water main breaks. Water main, I've got the app. Our water went down on Farragut, and they did a very thorough job of saying, hey, we're going to be shutting the water off from this time to that time. You know, they do a very good job if you're, you go to these different resources and agencies, if you will, and sign up for their information. So we will continue to refine this and then finally get it out of our committee and onto your refrigerator, hopefully. Let's see if there's anything else. Really, one thing with, Tony gave us an update, and it's real encouraging to me. We make decisions, we also, and it's fine, we get heat for certain decisions. As far as how we transition to the fire department, being an independent contractor, we're seeing a lot of very good things, more increased coverage, shorter response times. There's a lot of good coming from that. And I just want to thank your department. I know it's been a real stretch. This is like not just, you just flip a switch and you're into this new standalone entity. You've had a lot of people work really hard and then still doing gift baskets on top of it for fundraisers. So thank you, Tony, for doing that. But I think Rachel would agree that we had a good meeting, and we'll just keep pressing on the safety front. That concludes my report.
Okay, comments or questions? All right, Community Development, Jim Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Community Development met on February 10th for an extended session to focus on America 250 activities. The America 250's committee chair, Lisa Knack, led a discussion with the 3 subcommittees. The plan is that the village is organizing a community picnic and a parade for June 27th. So the date is set. Network's going on. There's also a subcommittee dealing with banners, advertising the event that will be, all that stuff will be coming out in the near future. But just wanted to say that there's a lot of great work. It's a big effort to organize all that. So the subcommittees have done a ton of work already, coming up with activities and budget requests, and just keeping this affordable but still a nice event for the community to get together, since this kind of event hasn't happened in so long. This is going to be really nice. And definitely want to encourage people, there's still opportunities to help. If you'd like to be help with one of the committees, you know, especially the day of the event, there's going to be a lot of hands-on opportunities to help. You know, just please contact Lisa, or look for the contact information on the community website, and we'll get you knitted into the activities that are going on. We'll meet again March 24th to go through America 250 activities again. So that's another date. If you're thinking of, you have some interest, you can join us here on the 24th at 5 o'clock. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Comments?
I do have a question. Do we meet that day also for the committees, or only for that? Because the last time we ran out of time trying to put all of them together.
Yeah, that's why we started, and we started earlier so we can get all the America 250 stuff, and that was like the only focus.
The only thing that we cover, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you think that we should have, I'm asking you because we are together on the two committees, do you think that it would be worth our while to meet then on the first Tuesday? Because March we start the meetings, the work session on the first Tuesday of March, correct?
Correct.
So would you think that we could meet as committee on March 1st, on that work session?
To talk other business. To talk other business?
Yes, to talk
Yeah,
about the
that's-
committees themselves, not for 250, but just our committees. Do you think that would be agreeable?
I think that's agreeable, yeah.
Okay, so
March 3rd.
5:30, that would be, what is the March the 2nd, or?
No, it's March 3rd.
March 3rd, okay, that's a Tuesday.
Next week.
Okay, yes, okay.
Okay, at,
And then at 5:30, we'll do the Jim's committee and then mine after his. But the last time, we just ran out of time and we couldn't do anything else.
okay, got it.
That would be great. Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Moving on, intergovernmental affairs, laws and rules, Maria Walter.
I covered just that.
Okay. Finance and audit, Greg Hermes.
Yeah, just for going over some different things, is what's been going on this past year. Basically, our income tax revenues, they were up 17.7%, which was really good. Last year, probably just due to improving economy, more jobs, pay increases. But the overall revenue from year to year is it's been down 4%. No further change on the general fund. I guess the revenues they're up from this year than what it was last year, up 12%, due to project reimbursements. The ending balance for the year 2025 is right around 2.5 million. Other expenses that were basically includes payments to year-end contractual agreements with Rumpke and Malloy's and volunteer fire department, plus other monthly disbursements. So total general fund expense ended at 2.38 million. That's our 68% of our total appropriations. But basically it's doing really well. We got other disbursements that were going out for the police and Malloy's and the pool, and that was around 845,000. Pretty much a general thing with the contracts and everything else. That's about it. Anybody have any questions?
We're still solvent. All right, service and streets, Courtney Faber.
Thank you. So first, I want to talk about the electric aggregation, which Yvonne already spoke more in depth about, but just a little recap. We received proposals from 3 suppliers, Dynegy, Constellation, and Direct Energy. The consultant is recommending an agreement with Dynegy for a 25-month rate below 10 cents, if possible, once we agree to that. The benefits are a 25-month rate versus a shorter term. And then the program does not have an early termination fee, and the participation is completely voluntary, and residents can leave at any time for any reason free of charge. Also, reminder, next month, March 2026, is when the trash collection should include no more than either 6 30-gallon bags or cans and 1 large item, or 2 95-gallon trash bins and 1 large item. You do not have to call for the large item, by the way. It's put in the contract that you can just put it out, but there's probably exceptions to that, I'm assuming based on like the size and what they can carry. So I guess use your best judgment on that one. Let's see. Work is scheduled to begin tomorrow, 2/25 through Thursday, 2/26, on 18 trees that require pruning or removal. This is spread all throughout the village, so a good indicator would probably be if you see the utility markings on your landing strip. And then the last 2 things I have is we had our Q1 meeting on February 12th, and our Q2 meeting will be on May 4th at 10 a.m.
And I have a question. Do we still provide bags at a cost to people? for
We
bags?
don't do that anymore.
Okay.
And all furniture does need to be wrapped in plastic.
Right.
Do we have, I mean, do the residents just go to Amazon, or how do they?
Amazon, Home Depot,
Okay.
yeah.
To wrap mattresses, and
Right.
Furniture.
And
Sofas,
couches,
that kind of
any
thing.
upholstered items.
Right. Okay. All right, recreation, cable TV, Rachel Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am grateful that Diana made my job a little bit easier today. So I don't believe that I have any updates past what she shared, other than the fact that things are going well at Waycross. And we did meet for committee, recreation committee on Tuesday the 10th. It was really fast. We started at 4:38 and we were done by 4:53. But it was beneficial. We're moving forward with recreation with the We Thrive program, and we're in communications with the point of contact there. Our next step is to have them come in and just talk to us about the next step and what it looks like in order for our village to get acclimated to the program and involved and get started, since we've now have passed that ordinance. And then once we have that conversation is when we'll be able to have more of an outline to know what we can do as far as the recreation committee. There are people that have expressed interest. If you are interested, you can also reach out to the village and you can fill out a volunteer form. You can reach out and email myself. But we're just in the basics of getting started and had some good ideas for some different initiatives, because I would say that Jeff and I are definitely on one accord with wanting to serve council well for this term and being able to look back and say what we've been able to accomplish. So that's what we'll be looking forward to, and try to share everything as it comes along. And that's it.
All right. Okay, moving on. This is an opportunity, time for citizens to comment on legislation listed on the agenda for this session of council. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, complete the sign-in sheet, verbally indicate that you're a resident of Greenhills. And since no non-residents had requested the addresses, it would just apply to residents of Greenhills. State your comments. Comments will be limited to 4 minutes.
Can I go?
This is regarding the ordinances. You're welcome to go if
Yeah.
you're going to talk about that.
Okay. All right.
You're warmed
Okay.
up, though.
All right. No unfinished business, new business. Ordinance number 2026-0-02-S, first reading. Amending section 335.01 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding driver's license requirements. Mr. Halter.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have ordinance 2026-002-S, amending section 335.01 of the Village of Greenhills, codified ordinances regarding driver's license requirements. Whereas section 335.101 of the Greenhills codified ordinances regulates requirements for driver's license, and whereas upon the recommendation of the Chief of Police in consultation with the village prosecutor, certain amendments are being requested to section 335.01. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of Village of Greenhills, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring. Section 1, that section 335.01 of the Village of Greenhills codified ordinances shall be amended as set forth in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Section 2, that this ordinance shall be effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law. I move that we accept this ordinance.
Second.
That's just,
First
just the
reading.
first reading.
Is that first reading?
Just kidding.
Right, yeah.
But is there a way that you could add more?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention, if you look at the appendix of the Exhibit A, under the very first section, 6th line down, where it says, whoever violates the division is guilty of an unclassified misdemeanor, subject to a fine of $250 when the offense is an unclassified misdemeanor, and then goes down to the end of that paragraph, 29, 29, 26. That's the only addition to this. That's the only change. Basically, that's what that's doing, is giving us the ability to cite somebody that's driving under suspension to an unclassified misdemeanor, cite them to mayor's court here. Problem is, a lot of people get in the downward spin of DUS citations, and they can never get out of it. So this gives them basically driving without a valid license, and it's unclassified misdemeanor, and can be punishable up to a $250 fine, including all the fees and everything. That's what they would be paying. So that's the only addition to this section.
Thank you.
All right, next one, resolution number 26R03-CD, authorizing the municipal manager to execute a change of orders for the exterior remodeling of 10 Enfield project contract. Mr. Bonner?
Resolution number 2026-R03-CD, authorizing the municipal manager to execute change orders for the exterior remodel of 10 Enfield project contract. Whereas the Village of Greenhills has previously entered into a contract for the 10 Enfield renovation in an amount of $471,500, and whereas during the course of the project, certain change orders to increase the total amount of the contract in the amount of $93,389.67 have become necessary to properly complete the project. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, members elected thereto concurring, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to execute change orders to the existing contract for the Malloy's renovation project, substantially in the form of the change orders attached hereto as Exhibit A. Section 2, that the finance director is hereby authorized to pay the sum not to exceed the total amount of the change orders authorized herein. Section 3, that this resolution shall be effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I recommend this resolution be adopted.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, what I'd like to do is have an understanding where people will know $471,000 to this project change orders. What ends up happening when you start doing the removal of everything on the inside, this place was renovated over 50 years ago. In 50 years, a lot of things have changed. So they had to adopt to the new codes that are there in order to bring it up to today's standards. And that's a good thing for us, long-term wise. So the contract that we have for the new company that's going to be in there, it's really good. We get $75,000 a year. So overall, if they want to move out in 5, 6, 7 years, great, because at least that way it's been totally renovated. I've run into this so many times in the business that I was in, so it makes big time sense to change it and to update it. So it's worthy of the $93,000 change.
If I could add on to that, if that's all right. I was walking our dog by there, and it looks so much better sided, and to know that it's not just siding, that it's structurally getting to be in a good place. We have the playground over there. That's a capital expenditure we did a while ago. We had some donations towards that. Those kinds of things. We have the pool, we have Malloy's, we have that playground, the park is coming along. Those are game changers in my opinion. We can only hold on with our fingernails and just wipe everything away as it gets older, or we can invest in it, and I do think this is a wise investment, and it's really adding on and moving in the right direction, very much like the tree strip in Winton Road, in my opinion, but thought I'd pile on to that.
All right. Clerk, poll the council.
Mr. Hermes,
Yes.
Ms. Father,
Aye.
Ms. Hudson,
Aye.
Mr. Holter,
Aye.
Ms. Walther,
Aye.
Mr. Warner.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2026-R03-CD passes. Next, resolution number 2026-R04-SNS, authorizing all actions necessary to support government electric aggregation program with opt-out provisions pursuant to section 4928.20 Ohio Revised Code, authorizing the village manager of Greenhills to execute a supply agreement with Danergy Energy Services to continue its electric aggregation program. Ms. Paper.
Resolution number 2026-R04-SNS, a resolution authorizing all actions necessary to support a governmental electricity aggregation program with opt-out provisions pursuant to section 4928.20 Ohio Revised Code, authorizing the village manager of Greenhills to execute a supply agreement with Dynegy Energy Services to continue its electric aggregation program. Whereas the Ohio legislature has enacted electric deregulation, which authorizes the legislative authorities of villages to aggregate the retail electrical loads located within their jurisdiction and to enter into service agreements to facilitate for those loads the purchase and sale of electricity. And whereas governmental aggregation provides an opportunity for residential and small business customers collectively to participate in the potential benefits of electricity deregulation through electric rates, which they may not otherwise be able to have individually. And whereas on November 2nd, 2010, Greenhills residents voted in favor of the village having the authority to aggregate the retail electric loads located in the village and to enter into service agreements to facilitate for those loads the sale and purchase of electricity pursuant to section 4928.20 of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas Greenhills Village is certified by the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio as a governmental aggregator of electricity and has solicited electric supply offers to serve its electric aggregation program, and now therefore be it resolved by the Village of Greenhills, County of Hamilton, State of Ohio, Section 1, the Village Manager of Greenhills is hereby authorized to enter into an electric supply service agreement with Dynegy Energy Services to facilitate the sale and purchase of electricity to consumers in the village's opt-out program. Section 2, that it is found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this ordinance were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this resolution shall be immediately effective upon its adoption and approval by Village Council. I recommend adoption of this resolution.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments? I think we've made a lot already. Clerk, poll the council.
Mr. Porter,
Aye.
Ms. Hudson,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Bogger,
Aye.
Mr. Hermes,
Aye.
Mr. Halter.
Aye.
Okay, motion, or resolution number 2026-R04-SNS passes. Next resolution, 2026-R05-SNS, authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC in the amount not to exceed $125,153 for the Village of Greenhills cutting project. Ms. Falber.
Resolution number 2026-R05-SNS, authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC in an amount not to exceed $125,153 for the village sidewalk cutting project. Whereas the village has determined that it is necessary and in the public interest to conduct a village sidewalk cutting project, and whereas Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC has submitted a proposal for said work in the amount of $125,153. And whereas Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC has provided adequate documentation that they are a sole source provider for such services, and therefore competitive bidding is not required. And whereas it is the desire of Village Council to enter into a contract with Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC for the project. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, members elected into thereto concurring, section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into a contract with Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC for the village sidewalk cutting project pursuant to the terms of the accepted proposal. Section 2, that the finance director is hereby authorized to pay Precision Safe Sidewalks LLC an amount not to exceed $125,153 pursuant to the terms of the contract. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect and be enforced immediately upon its adoption. I recommend adopting this resolution.
I second it.
Okay, comments or questions?
I wanted to know, in the area that where you live on, there was a lot of markings on the sidewalk where they're gonna be cut. I don't know if this was done by the LLC company?
Probably, yes.
Okay. Does it include on both sides of Winton Road,
Right, the whole village.
the whole village? Okay.
Previously, we broke it up in different phases over, what, like 3 or 4 years?
Right.
And the council decided to just do the whole thing, so it's the entire village.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, they're gonna be replacing some sections as well, correct?
Correct. And I'll actually we'd be using another vendor for that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And they work in all sorts of weather, so you'll probably see this starting pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right, clerk poll of the council?
Ms. Hudson.
Aye.
Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Warner.
Aye.
Mr. Halter.
Aye.
Mr. Herman.
Aye.
Ms. Fogg.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2026-R05-SNS passes. Okay. Any council people want to make any comments?
Mayor, did you want to do the motion?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was about to make a motion to concur.
Right, I need a motion to concur with my appointment of Greg Hermes, the Planning Commission.
I make a motion to concur.
Second.
Okay, all right, it's been moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Oops, see, I got carried away there.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Curveball this one.
In
All
5
right.
seconds,
I was
your
like,
workload
wait.
doubled.
Don't forget.
All right, municipal calendar.
Lawson Rural and Community Development on the 3rd of March at 5:30. We'll start with the community development and finish up with Lawson Rules.
Okay.
And streets and services, May 4th at 10 a.m.
And March 24th.
March 24th, we'll do America 250 committee.
Okay,
at 5.
all right. Moving on, this is opportunity for residents, non-residents to appear before council. Non-residents must obtain prior permission. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, complete the sign-in sheet, verbally indicate if you're a resident of Greenhills, and then state your comments. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. Speakers may not yield any or all of their time to other speakers.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I appreciate the effort that you made on getting the speed humps or not getting the speed humps. I'm going to let that fight rest. I'm not going to bother with it anymore. My name is that mine? Are you kidding me?
Hurry up, you only got 4 minutes.
I thought I turned the volume off. I'm terrible with electronics. And I had to bring my computer because I couldn't hook up my printer. I was going to give you all each a copy in the
The
plastic
library
sheet.
can help with that.
The library, I just crafted this when I got home today. My name is Jennifer Nasser. I'm a criminal mischief. I'm here tonight to speak about broadband access in the village of Greenhills. Currently, Spectrum is the only wired internet provider servicing our community. When residents have only one option, there is no real competition. That lack of competition can lead to higher prices, fewer service improvements, and limited accountability. Quite simply, when there is only one provider, residents don't have a market. We have a monopoly. High-speed internet is not a luxury. It is essential infrastructure. Our residents rely on it for remote work, online education, telehealth appointments, small business operations, and everyday communications. Affordable and reliable broadband directly impacts property values and the economic strength of our village. I'm scrolling down. I took the initiative to contact Alta Fiber, and I was told they will be reaching out to the village of Greenhills as soon as possible. This suggests there may be interest in expanding services here. I believe the village should actively pursue and encourage that conversation. My conversation was with Jen at Alta Fiber, and they were very hopeful about getting some kind of a, I don't know if it's a contract, but with the village, so we can have competition with Spectrum. And I'm no longer reading this, I'm just talking because it's annoying to read it. But Spectrum, my internet is $80 a month for 400 gigs, $80 a month. When I moved here, it was 40. Now it's 80. There's no competition. Spectrum can charge 500. We have no other resources or options. Alta Fiber, I asked her, I said, how much? And it would be $30 a home, $30 for Wi-Fi. And then I asked them about their increases, their rate increases. She said, well, we have, this is where I have to read, promotional discounts, and they go up $10 if you don't get your promotional discount. It would go up $10. So can we look into talking to Alta Fiber? That's my next fight.
And I think part of the problem with, because all the above-ground utility parts of Greenhills are able to get Ultra Fiber. They haven't been able to supply it to those who get their underground utilities provided. And so
I have no idea.
There's a difference between the different sections of Greenhills, because for example, I live on Japonica. I have Alta Fiber. I just looked up. I do.
I do too.
If you go on the Village of Greenhills Facebook page, not the legitimate one, the other one. Sorry, and it's not illegitimate, but it's just not run by us. There were countless complaints about Spectrum years ago, and I was one of them, because I've worked from home since before COVID, and it was annoying, the outages and the prices and everything.
Increases twice a year.
And everybody was talking about switching. Everybody that did say something was talking about if they did switch, they went from Spectrum to Alta Fiber. So I was able to get Alta Fiber, and I just looked up my bill. Now, granted, it is $88 a month, so I don't know what she's talking about $30 and staying that low, because I've had it for years now. But it's worth it to me because I haven't had an outage since I switched there. But my grandfather just bought a house in the village, and he's going to be on the other side, and he must have the underground, because when he went to go try and get internet, he was told the same thing, that they couldn't do it. And I was wondering why, but that's why. So there's something bigger to it. It's not that we don't offer it, it's just with the way that it was developed. So I don't know what the solution would be.
In Greenhills, they already had engineers come out and evaluate whether they can bury their lines or whatever?
At some point, so I don't know what it would look like if they had to do it for the other side and how expensive that could be or anything. That's above my pay grade. It's something that we could check into, it sounds like, but we do, some of Greenhills residents are able to have Alta Fiber. And another option might be, I don't know who your phone provider is, but even before, when I was with Verizon, I was able to get a hotspot and use that a lot of times too, which was actually cheaper than getting bona fide internet. So just another option,
that's an option, yeah.
Possibly in the interim.
Did you know if, one quick question.
$30 for Alta Fiber.
But what, did they give you how many gigs that is for? I'm just curious.
I told her I was getting 400 gigs with Spectrum for $80 a month.
Right, but when they gave you a price of $30, they might have not given you a 30 gig
It-
plan, but that's all right, just curious.
Yeah,
Okay, there
it
is-
would have been.
there is
So they're
another
gonna
op-
call you.
There is another option, and that's Starlink. And
Starling?
Starlink, you get a dish, you mount it somewhere on your house, and you have direct satellite contact.
Gives you
It's,
Wi-Fi?
And they do, right, correct, Wi-Fi.
Starling.
So, now it's not as cheap as, I think, I'm not sure what it is now. I think it's maybe $100 a month or something like that. But,
And be careful
that's
with the
something you
dish.
can get. And,
I'm
If-
aiming for $30 a month. Not 100, not 80 for Spectrum,
Right.
at 30.
yeah, yeah,
Alta Fiber is gonna call the village.
right.
Her name is Jen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? We don't have any. Monique, she left before you could advise her on broadband.
It's not $30.
Yeah.
Does everybody have the handouts?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Monique Mason-Halter, Greenhills resident. At last month's meeting, I was glad that State Representative Cindy Abrams spoke about how her office is always interested in hearing from constituents. As you know, I frequently encourage council members to contact other lawmakers, and I'm doing this again tonight regarding federal proposals to override local control regarding where and how cell towers, small cells, and wireless antennas and equipment are built. Many communities, including ours, have adopted ordinances to ensure that wireless infrastructure is placed responsibly. Thank you again for doing that, as well as writing a letter to the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, asking that it comply with a 2021 court order that it refuses to address. Last month, I provided you with a handout that I printed from the Environmental Health Sciences website. I've provided you with a different handout from them tonight titled Regulatory Filings by Cities and Municipalities. It includes a picture of a small cell tower antenna attached to a light fixture across the street from a home. I will read the first paragraph of it now. In 2017, a coalition of over 1,800 local governments known as the Smart Communities Siting Coalition sued to oppose the FCC's decision to fast-track the installation of small cell infrastructure, stripping local authorities of much of their decision-making power. Now, I don't recall that the Village of Greenhills was part of this lawsuit in 2017. Most of the text from the handout that I provided refers to research about how this infrastructure reduces property value, and research published since then has determined the same. Bringing it back to now, 2026, I also provided you with a half-page flyer from Environmental Health Sciences that has information about how you can participate in an online campaign against these federal proposals to override local control regarding where and how cell towers, small cells, and wireless antennas and equipment are built. If you don't have time to personally contact our state and federal lawmakers,
as well as the Hamilton County Commissioners, to ask that they take action against these proposals. I ask that you participate in this online campaign. One other thing, I know we have on a different subject, there is a Village of Greenhills official Facebook page, which is great. I think it would be a really good idea if you started posting when there were council work sessions and meetings on that as well. So that could be shared officially to the resident Greenhills Facebook pages. It would just be more official than somebody just sharing it. And so that way it's more official. And any other, I mean, you might even want to consider committee meetings, other kinds of things, just directing people to the calendar, you know, utilize it, it's there. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody else? That's it? Nobody has anything else? Meeting adjourned. Oh, yeah.